How's it going, guys? Welcome to Out of Bounds. I'm your host, James Skrmetta. My throat is a little scratchy. Down here in South Mississippi, allergy season is in full swing. As the seasons change, hell on earth for sinuses and allergies, so excuse the voice is a little on the scratchy side. I made a concoction here. You know, sometimes you have this idea in your head of like a good drink, like hot milk or something, and you make it and you taste it and you're like, wow, that's disgusting. That's what I have here. It's hot milk with like vanilla extract and honey. Sounds good. In theory, it's good. It's disgusting. It's awful. But let's get into it. We got a strong show on a Friday. Got a bunch of different topics here. We've got Drew Brees' arm. We've got, of course, winners. Winner chicken dinners. 3 college games, 5 NFL games. I went 4-1 in the NFL last week. So it's time to start listening to what I'm saying, if you aren't already. And, of course, we have the MLS Minute. 2 games on Wednesday. We'll pick up both of them. Let's jump into this thing. As if Alabama's week couldn't get any worse, Lane Kiffin, get this, you talk about outrageous. Lane Kiffin is now battling rumors that he got handed a pink slip. You know what that means. The good old-fashioned fired. Now, the reasons for Lane Kiffin getting fired has nothing to do with the Alabama offense. It has nothing to do with him losing to Ole Miss. It has nothing to do with his strained relationship with Nick Saban. Actually, that's not true. Now, I have to do my duty as a journalist. These is all internet rumors. Just swill from the darkest, deepest parts of the interwebs. All right, this is all strictly rumor, zero fact to any of it. Absolutely no fact, strict rumors, but they're everywhere. Lane Kiffin was the trending topic in America today on Twitter. That shows how much these rumors went crazy. Here's the rumors. There's 2 ways, or there's 2 reasons that Lane Kiffin is getting fired today. 1, for sleeping with a booster's wife. And 2, and sit down if you're not, because you're going to want to. And 2, sleeping with Nick Saban's daughter. Bum, bum, bum. I'll repeat it. Lane Kiffin, allegedly, is fired from the University of Alabama, or is about to be fired, for sleeping with a booster's wife or the daughter of Nicholas Saban. Whoa. Whoa. Now, let's just quell these rumors a bit. TMZ Sports spoke with the Director of Communications for the football program, who said Kiffin is still employed and didn't want to comment on any, quote, stupid or, quote, crazy rumors. And that's the rumor. So that's what we're dealing with today. We're dealing with Lane Kiffin, the offensive coordinator for Alabama, who never really has fit in there. He's always kind of butted heads with little Nicky, which isn't hard to do. Seems like everybody butts heads with Nick Saban. But Lane, if you've never seen Nick Saban's daughter, she's not bad looking at all. All right, she's a really good looking girl. And if you've never seen Lane Kiffin, he looks like Daniel Tosh, which isn't bad, but you know. Lane Kiffin is, I've always been a big Lane supporter because I like his attitude. I like, his style or whatever. He's proved he's not a head coach. He's proved he's not the guy you want leading your program. I think he's a great coordinator. I think he could be a successful coordinator in the NFL. I didn't think Alabama would work out because Nick Saban's not the kind of guy that needs a high-profile celebrity coordinator. Nick Saban makes coordinators, not the other way around. But if this is true, this will go down as the greatest sports scandal in college football history. Maybe the greatest sports scandal in history, second to the Juice Man, Orenthal. Think about it. All right, in today's age, college football is so big. It's probably the second biggest sport. Well, it is the second biggest sport behind the NFL, and especially the SEC. Right, the SEC got its own network on ESPN. It's got its own shows. Got its own people working for it. The dynasty that was Alabama's and Florida's and LSU's and Tim Tebow's and Johnny Manziel's and all these people from the SEC brought the SEC a lot of attention nationally, along with all the winning. And Nick Saban has been the guy kind of pushing the SEC to the top, right? When he was at LSU, when he was in Alabama, he's constantly pushing it. He's this Bill Belichick figure, this mysterious guy who's crass with the media. He always has a scowl. He's never happy with winning. He's the guy that at the national championship says, "How do you feel, Nick?" as he's holding the crystal ball. And he says, "Well, we got to worry about next year." And this guy's daughter is potentially getting bed by Lane Kiffin. One of the bigger jokes in college football history. One of the bigger jokes in football history. This would be like if instead of Wayne Gretzky's daughter being wed by Dustin Johnson, she was wed by Happy Gilmore. Like, the greatest, a joke, and then the offspring of the greatest with the joke. Like, how's that? It's unfathomable. Now, I'm going to put the percentage of this being true at about 0%. A booster's wife, maybe. If he's locked up some Tuscaloosa and Kim Kardashian, more power to him. I don't know if you've ever been to Tuscaloosa, but it ain't Malibu. I am praying, I am crossing my fingers that this is true with Saban's daughter, because I can't even wrap my head around the potential for news, the potential for the show, the potential for content, the potential for press conferences, the potential for Saban's daughter and Lane Kiffin hand in hand having dinner at Cracker Barrel in Tuscaloosa, where all the celebrities go, line, packed down the street, people sitting in the rocking chairs outside of Cracker Barrel, a mile long, and then strolling up in a denim tuxedo is Lane Kiffin and his beau. I don't even know her first name, little Miss Saban, and they go have a fried chicken meal in Cracker Barrel, and Nick's looking through the window. And he's upset. He's scowling. He's upset. And A.J. McCarron's there for some reason. And no one really knows why. Oh, it'd be beautiful. That's my heaven. Chad Kelly's there. The only way it could have been better is if Chad Kelly was involved somehow. Oh, my God. I mean, I just thought about an eliminate situation with Nick Saban's daughter. What was that show on MTV? Where the parents picked out the girl, and then they watched the date with the ex. You know what I'm talking about? Oh man, I can't think about that show. Was it like X'd? I don't remember. But let's pretend it's that show. Nick Saban's watching the dates, and the dates are with Johnny Manziel, Chad Kelly, and Lane Kiffin. Oh, good God. Oh, my heart is a flutter. My heart is an absolute flutter over here. I don't know if it's true. I do know this. I do know I would not want to be Lane Kiffin in practice right now. Imagine being in practice. Slapjack, this was not something that I just created in my head. This was the #1 trending topic on Twitter. So everyone in Alabama, all the players, all the coaches, Nick Saban, Lane Kiffin, everyone was reading this. Now imagine being at practice, if you're a player, right? You're Derrick Henry. And you're running the football, and Lane Kiffin is standing there next to Nick Saban. And every time Lane Kiffin's phone buzzes or vibrates, Nick looks over. Just looks back at practice, looks over. Looks back at practice. Lane cocks a smile. Nick throws his sheet on the ground, walks off. Kiffin kind of nudges the left guard, gives him daps. I mean, practice must be pure chaos. Absolute chaos. I honestly can't even imagine what the atmosphere is like. If this would have been a week ago, the ratings for the Ole Miss-Alabama game would have been Super Bowl-esque. I mean, can you imagine the scenes if this was happening 1 week ago, leading up to Bama Ole Miss? And this isn't going to go away. These kind of rumors don't go away. If you're Nick Saban's daughter, let's say it's not true. If you're Nick Saban's daughter and you're just sitting at home, say, oh, hey, rumor has it you've been shacked up with Lane Kiffin. That's a rough day for her, too. Not that bad of a day for Lane Kiffin. Hey, Lane, well done. Well done, son. What kind of clone you wearing, brother? You mind slinging it my way? But it's all rumors. Everything's rumors nowadays. You know? Speaking of rumors, what I was going to say what isn't a rumor, but it's just as much of a rumor. Tough week in the city that never sleeps, huh? I go to New Orleans, wreck the damn city. I leave. Saints suck. They're 0-2. Lose to Tampa Bay. Worst team of all time. Can't cover -9 to save their life. And what happens? In the span of about 5 hours, I heard reports that Drew Brees was dead, had one arm, tore his shoulder off, completely was done for the season, and is playing Sunday. Talk about outrageous. Now, which one of those rumors is true? According to Dr. James Andrews, Drew Brees has a bruised rotator cuff, and if with some healthy rehab, he could play this Sunday. Sans Dr. Phil. That chump hasn't helped anybody. You know he's not even a psychiatrist? I just read that the other day. He was talk about go off the topic here. He was a guy, he worked for a company that found juries or something. He would be part of the process of selecting juries for court cases. And he somehow met Oprah, and he cracked a few old jokes, nice old-timey jokes. Oprah said, hey, I like your style. Full head of hair. Got him on the show. That cat he made like $70 million in 2010. He hasn't renewed his license to practice psychology since like 1990. What in the world? Oprah, find me. I'll find you a jury. I'll tell jokes. I got jokes for days, Oprah. Jokes for days. You ever heard the one with the horse named Friday? Back to what I was saying, sort of. Brees is trying to play this weekend, right? He's trying to play against Carolina. Bad decision, Drew. Bad move. Bad news bears. Why? The team is awful. The team is terrible. All right, you're going on the road to play Carolina, who is a tough team, a hell of a defense. Cam Newton, my man. That's not a game you need to be playing, Drew. You ain't lining up against Jacksonville. If you're lined up against, I was gonna say if you're lined up against Tampa Bay, but that's the last team. So he's gonna try and line up against Carolina and play. Why? Drew, the team's awful. Okay? The team is so bad. Sit for a week. Heal up if it's not that bad. If it really is just a bruised rotator cuff, you don't need surgery. Just rehab it for one more week and come back strong. That second half against Tampa Bay, he was floating passes about 20 yards short. It was awful. And Carolina, if they know he's hurt, you gotta believe they're gonna. I've always wondered this about the NFL. If you're a Carolina defensive end and you know Drew Brees' shoulder's hurt, and you're going for a hit, and you're potentially sacking him, and you're about a second too late, wouldn't you just pop him, take the 15-yard penalty, and get him out of the game? Like, if I knew Drew Brees' right arm was hurt, and I see him cocked back to throw, releases it, he's got that thing dangling out there, I would just crush it. 15-yard penalty, whatever, my bad. Luke McCown, come on in here, dog. There's no way I would let him through the game. You know, middle of a dog pile, you lock in the crippler crossface, make him tap right there. But I've always said that I'd be the greatest general manager of all time because I would just make moves. I would just make like Madden moves. You know how in Madden, like, oh, your quarterback's hurt for 3 weeks? I was going to trade for a backup. Why don't NFL teams do that? So I've listed 5 quarterbacks that are backups in the NFL right now. They aren't starters. You know, I'm not talking about trading for a great starter. I'm talking about trading for backups. I've listed 5, and I've ranked them that the Saints need to go get. Here it goes. Number 1. Start with 1 or 5. I'll start with 1. Number one, makes a lot of sense. Aaron Murray. Aaron Murray plays for Kansas City Chiefs, played at Georgia, hurt his leg. I think he tore his ACL. If he wouldn't have done that, he probably would have been a first-round draft pick. Anyways, he's healthy now. He's in Kansas City. You could probably get him on the cheap. Played at Georgia. All right. He's very similar to Drew Brees and the way he plays. He's kind of a sneaky athlete. He's not a runner, but he can extend the play. Not a great arm, accurate, hell of a leader. Won in college. Go get Aaron Murray, because then the guy you get, the backup you get, let's say he plays for 2 weeks, right? Let's say he plays for 2 weeks. Then Drew comes back, plays the rest of the season. This backup needs to be able to sit, learn, and then take over for when Brees leaves, and let's say not this year, not the next year, but the next year. Aaron Murray's number one. Number two, Austin Davis. Southern Miss to the top. Fun fact, played against Austin Davis in an intramural softball in my collegiate days. Austin Davis is the only person on this list, well, besides one more, to have actual NFL experience. And Austin Davis succeeded greatly. He had some mistakes, of course, but he looked fine. And for a guy coming out of Southern Miss with no real hype, he played pretty damn well in a really tough conference when he got thrown into the mix in St. Louis. He is identical to Drew Brees. Identical player. Undersized, more accurate than deep passer, sneaky. He's more of an athlete than Drew Brees. Davis can run around a little bit. He did in St. Louis. He's not Michael Vick or anything, but he can scramble. He can do some things. He went to Southern Miss on a baseball scholarship. The guy can play. Another guy you could get on the serious cheap. Go get Davis. And Davis, I know I may be biased, but Davis is a great guy. He's the guy who's going to learn. He's not the guy who's going to cause any trouble. He's going to learn from Drew Brees like a sponge. And when Brees is done, you can put Davis in there, and it'll be like Brees never left. I truly think Austin Davis could be a Pro Bowl type quarterback in this league, strictly because of work ethic, mind, all that stuff. Austin Davis. Number three, Jimmy Garoppolo. Handsome Jimmy Garoppolo. Arguably the best looking quarterback in the league. New England's a team that loves to give away picks, or loves to get picks, excuse me. So you trade them a pick, get handsome Jimmy Garoppolo, they draft some other guy, and Jimmy's the man. And if nothing else, you got a face for the future. Number four, A.J. McCarron. Same deal. Cheap. He's playing for Cincinnati. Cheap. SEC quarterback. Winner in college. He's been, he hasn't played in the NFL, so he's just been learning and learning and learning. He learned from Nick Saban. He comes in with Sean Payton. He knows how to learn, knows how to take coaching, and he needs to sit. These are all quarterbacks that need to sit. And then number five, personal pick, Johnny Manziel. Because I love Johnny Manziel, and I go to Saints games. I would love to watch Johnny Manziel in New Orleans. Now, let's get the scarf out, boys. It's time for the midweek Friday edition of the MLS Minute. We had two league games and two CCL games Wednesday night. But we only care about league games here at the MLS Minute. So, let's go ahead and crank it up. Life is better in fall. Leaves turn orange. They fall to the ground. All the best food is cooked. The holiday seasons are approaching. The smell of pumpkin in the air. And Didier Drogba scoring goals, son. Drogba and Andres Romero scored goals to give the Montreal Impact a 2-1 win over the Chicago Fire. The win brings Montreal to only 1 point back of 5th place Canadian brethren Toronto FC. I chose instead to watch the other midweek game. A clash between the struggling Sporting Kansas City Benny Fellhabers, who fell 1-0 to the weary Houston Dynamo. I watched every single second of this game. And besides the Will Bruin goal, it was awful. I don't think Houston had a shot until about the 50th minute. Maybe in the first half. Maybe like right at halftime. Kansas City has so many, and they had a stacked lineup. Fellhaber, Dwyer, Zusi was playing. All these people were playing. And they just could not figure it out. Houston even was playing with 10 men for about 25 minutes. Then they got a red card in probably the 65, 70-minute mark, and Sporting never could capitalize. And even worse, at the end of the game, they weren't even trying. Like, Benny Feilhaber threw in a few crosses, which were picture perfect, beautiful, but they were kind of wasting time. They just never looked like they wanted to win the game. I mean, I love watching Sporting Kansas City because they're a really fun team to watch. They have a lot of really fun players. You know, Dom Dwyer plays harder than probably anybody in the league. Benny Feilhaber is probably my favorite player in the league, and to watch them drop so many points when they should have won the game after being so hot for a while there. I mean, when we started the show, they were playing better than anybody, and they just kind of got hurt, kind of got worn out, and now they're. I mean, I'm not ready to write them off, but they're close to being completely written off. That's it, guys. That's the MLS Minute. A short one, only 2 games, and only 3 goals. So, not a lot of highlights, not a lot of action. I mentioned this milk concoction I had earlier. I also put it in the microwave for about 3 minutes. Judging by the glass, it's hotter than the face of the sun. Not that hot. Does not taste good, though. Does not taste good. All right, last up here. Good time. This is a short show for y'all. Short show on a Friday, which I know y'all appreciate. I know y'all got things to do. This is a nice little lunchtime break. Only like half your lunchtime, too. Only about half your lunchtime listens to this, and you can call your local sports radio station and tell them to lock the doors and close up the shop because you got the better alternative right here. Now, let's do the winners. Weak slate of college games. The only games worth noting are out west. Oregon against Utah, and number 9 UCLA at number 16 Arizona. UCLA escaped last week. Josh Rosen still continues to be who I think is the best quarterback in the nation. And there's another test, a road test against Arizona. I'm hoping USC dropped, so I'm hoping UCLA keeps winning to give us a team out west to kind of root for, especially with Josh Rosen, because we love quarterbacks. So let's do college first. I'm struggling in college. I'm struggling in college picks. I just don't know. The lines have not been friendly to me. I've lost a lot of close ones. Lost just a lot outright. You know, -10 spreads, lose outright. That's a bad feeling. That'll make you want to drink. You know, more than you probably already want to drink. But here we go. This is a trap game, but I'm going to take the trap bet because I just can't imagine the other side winning. Arkansas just lost to Toledo, right? Right. Texas A&M. Everyone thought they were an SEC West champion contender, right? Right. Texas A&M is playing Arkansas. What's the line? Texas A&M -3. -3. Now Arkansas can't score, right? Right. So that means this game is imagined to be like something like Texas A&M 21, Arkansas 17, if they cover. Because if this was a normal Texas A&M game where it was like a 55, 60-point game, Arkansas can't keep up with that pace. They scored 12 points against Toledo. So then you're like, well, if Arkansas can't score, then they must think A&M's not going to score, so that's why the line's so small. But a logical person would be like, well, Toledo beat Arkansas, and Texas A&M would beat the hell out of Toledo. So we'll go ahead and take the trap. But remember I said it was a trap. Okay? It's not. This is something I learned from The Undertaker in WWE a long time ago. There's no shame in losing a fight. But there is shame in not fighting. And that's how I feel about trap bets. There's no shame in losing a trap bet as long as you know it's a trap bet. And we know it's a trap bet. Texas A&M, -3. Next bet, USM, the University of Southern Mississippi, to the top, +24 against Nebraska. USM's hot right now. They're playing good. Everything's clicking. They're putting up points. They're throwing the ball. That's important because Nebraska gives up a lot of passing yards a game. All right, it's at Nebraska, which is not good at all. 24 is a lot of points. 24 is a ton of points. I think Southern Miss, what people don't know, is they brought in a ton of junior college players. So it's pretty much a bunch of junior college players strapped up just going out there like the replacements, just punching people in the mouth. Take USM with the points, USM plus 24. And last game, my pick of the week, Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, under 59.5. I almost took Vanderbilt. They're like plus 27 or something. But Vanderbilt's so awful I didn't want to pick it. The reason I'm saying the under is this is the prototypical letdown game. Ole Miss, height of the highs. Beat Alabama at Alabama. They're on the cover of Sports Illustrated. All that stuff. Chad Kelly's dropping mixtapes. Vanderbilt sucks. So Ole Miss, it's a letdown game. Ole Miss is going to win, but I don't think they're going to roll out there and beat them by 30. If that's the case, maybe Ole Miss is the best team in the nation. You know, maybe they're the best team out there. If they just beat every single team by 50 points and beat the Alabamas and the Auburns and the LSUs by 14, maybe they are the best team. I'm not ready yet. I think they will win. I'm thinking more like a 24-3, 27-3 kind of deal, and that's way under. Vanderbilt is awful. So look for this game to be maybe, I could also see like 28-14. You know, one of those games is close at half. Ole Miss kind of blows it out at the end. The under. Let's go to the pros. Let's go to the pros in this thing. 5 pro picks, 2 morning games. Carolina -3 by the point against the Saints. By the point against the divisional game. You never know. It could be a tight one. Could be a field goal game. Don't want you to lose because of a half point. By the half point, if you just can't imagine Brees is anywhere near 100%, and if he plays like he did against Tampa Bay, Carolina will smash them. I think Cam Newton's going to have a hell of a day anyways. So we're going with Carolina -3. Next, Atlanta is a pick versus Dallas. We're taking Atlanta. You know how I am when quarterbacks. When there's like I said about with Tom Brady and Tyrod Taylor, that was kind of a pick game. I'm going with the better quarterback. Same deal here. Pick game: Matt Ryan or Brandon Weeden. Also, Tony Romo, Dez Bryant, and Jason Witten. Witten might play, but they're all hurt or out. No Tony Romo. No Dez Bryant, for sure. Maybe no Jason Witten. So you're telling me I'm going to take a team with Brandon Weeden, was it Julius Randle, and Terrence Williams? I don't think so. Sorry, Jura. But I'm taking Atlanta on the pick. Afternoon game. Seattle-Chicago, under 45. Cam Chancellor's back for Seattle, which is good for their morale. I think Seattle will win the game. I still think there's some serious offensive problems. I don't know if you can win. I don't know if you can be dominant with the wide receivers that they have. Jimmy Graham's not fitting. He's causing some problems, being super soft per usual. Marshawn's kind of, doing Marshawn things. I think they'll beat them up. They'll beat Chicago. Under 45. Jay Cutler's also not playing. I love Jimmy Clausen. I'm thinking somewhere around a 17-3, 21-6, 21-9 kind of game. Take the under. Next, Detroit. Detroit plus 2.5. Lay it on them. Detroit's playing Denver. Okay, Detroit's plus 2.5. I just don't think Denver's going to keep winning. I don't think Denver's very good. I think Detroit is one of those teams that'll punch you in the mouth. I think they're also one of those teams that kind of run and gun. Denver does not get shootouts at all anymore. I don't think they're very good. I certainly don't think they're good enough to be 3-0. So I'm taking Detroit plus 2.5. Monday night, last game. Green Bay -6.5 against Kansas City. I like Kansas City as far as they usually cover. A pretty good team, especially at home. But Alex Smith's not doing it. Green Bay is clicking. I can kind of see Green Bay figuring it out. And I think they will win the game. A touchdown for probably the best team in the league against Kansas City, a team offensively inept. I'll take them. So that is my picks. Recap the 5 picks. Carolina -3, Atlanta picks, Seattle, Chicago under 45, Detroit plus 2.5, Green Bay -6.5. I went 4-1 last week in the NFL, so make sure you get those picks in only for funsies because everyone knows gambling is for fools. The best bet you can make is no bet. Allegedly. This has been another fantastic episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you're listening, no matter how you're doing it, there's tons of options. Audio Mac, iTunes. We're available on iTunes for download, subscription. Just search Out of Bounds, and my beautiful logo will pop up. Don't worry, it's not my face. We don't want to scare the kids. Also, you can catch the simulcast, the video version, on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new for 2 of these a week, Mondays and Fridays. Thank you very, very much for listening. If you made it this far, you are truly my hero. I am your host, James Skrmetta. This is another episode of Out of Bounds. Have a great weekend, guys.